Hi, everyone. Welcome to Financial Insights. I'm Linda, your accounting coach, where we believe relationships plus information plus action equals success. Today, I want to talk about our favorite subject. Tax season is upon us. When I was 14, I worked at the YMCA. Even though I was hired through a youth program, I was considered an employee. Back then, everyone was considered employed. But today, we hire freelancers and contractors to do work for us. The IRS has issued out a new guideline or new form for the 1099. The new form is called 1099 NEC. This form is used for payments for services that are $600 or more. So, for instance, if you hire someone to manage your social media and you pay them over $600 last year, you have to issue out a 1099 NEC to them. So today I want to provide 4 tips on how to manage the 1099 process. Number 1, use your accounting system to your benefit. Many accounting systems now, you can actually identify vendors as a 1099. So for instance, in QuickBooks, there's a check mark. There's a field and you just do a check mark and it says track for 1099. So every time you issue out a payment, QuickBooks attaches that payment to that vendor. And you can just pull a report at the end of the year titled 1099 and all your information is already there. You can also upload the W-9, the contract engagement letter, whatever relating to the 1099. So use your accounting system to your benefit. Number 2, make sure that you keep all of the documents relating to the 1099. So when you issue out the 1099 or your CPA or your tax advisor, get a copy of the 1099. Keep that for audit purposes. Number 3, you want to make sure that the is issued correctly. And what that means is that all starts with the W-9. Many freelancers and contractors do not know how to complete the W-9 correctly. So let me show you how the form should look. I'm going to share my screen here so we can actually look at a W-9. So for contractors, if they are an LLC, their W-9 should be completed as such. So number 1 is their name. So if this was my W-9, it would say Linda Kersey, number 1. Number 2, the business name, Inside Financial Group. Number 3, they need to check mark if they are an LLC. They should be an LLC. Most contractors are an LLC. They need to also have the address. Number 6, they also need to have the city, state, and zip. Now, this section here, part 1, the taxpayer identification number, is very important. For an LLC, they need to have the employee identification number listed. So this is their tax ID. They should not have their social security number listed here. Many contractors end up completing both fields. They do not need to do that. So they, once again, for an LLC, they just need to complete the employee identification number. So when you issue out a 1099, you want to make sure for the employer identification number, you need to list the business name on the 1099, not their full name, but you need to list their business name because the IRS is going to say, does this name match this tax ID number? And if you put the wrong number, so for instance, if you put the social security number and then the business name, the IRS is going to kick back the form. So this is for an LLC. Say, for instance, you pay your nephew to update your website and you pay them $1,200. So your nephew will have to complete a W-9 because you need to issue out a 1099 NEC. So your nephew will complete box field 1 with their name. Number 3, they will also check mark individual. They will put their street address and then they also put the city and state. For the taxpayer identification number section, they will put their social security number here. Once again, they'll put their social security number. So when you issue out their 1099, you'll have your nephew's name, which comes from box 1, and you'll issue out their social security number. So very important you understand that, because most contractors do not understand that. So once again, with the LLC, you need to have their employee identification number. You don't need the owner's social security number. And you may be thinking, well, 2021 has already passed. 20 has already passed. And you know what? I just need to figure out how to get this thing, 1099s done for January 31st. But here's some tips for this year to start off on a good foot. Number 1, create a folder for all of your 1099. So in that folder, have their contract, their engagement letter, their W-9, any information relating to the work they do. Number 2, have a W-9 and a contract and engagement letter for them. So you won't look like the bad guy. Tell them that if I don't have this information, I can't submit a payment to you, because you don't want to track them down in January or February trying to issue out a 1099. So once again, tell them that if I don't have a W-9, if I don't have the signed contract or engagement letter, I can't pay you. So these are just some tips on how to manage a 1099. As we know, we're all so busy. There's many things to do when you start an organization, if you're running a nonprofit, but you have to have systems in place. And it's imperative that you keep up with these guidelines, particularly for the 1099 and the contractors, because the IRS is really coming down on organizations. Unfortunately, there are organizations who are taking advantage of this process just because they don't have to pay benefits and employment tax and all that stuff. So you want to make sure you have all of your ducks in a row. So make sure you have your checklist, you have calendar reminders. I suggest that you actually put a calendar reminder in for November so you can get ready for this process, so you don't have to track people down after the holidays. So create a system for yourself so you don't want to get caught without having one in place. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.